Hi, and welcome back to the DPAF podcast format. And I wanted to talk today about Matt Hancock's Me Too moment. And a lot of the coverage of his affair with an aide has inevitably focused on the lack of social distancing, the lack of holding private meetings when you're supposed to be in lockdown, and anything to do with the virus, but not to do with the Me Too movement. And of course, I remember back just a few years when every kind of romantic interaction between a superior and a subordinate was an example of the Me Too movement and how we had to stop this. And there was all the stories of Harvey Weinstein, and then there was all the stories of other people in positions of authority that had propositioned their female subordinates, and they had to be cancelled, or they had to be fired, or they had to be forced into resignations. And of course, this spread across the country. I mean, do you think someone like me could get away with having an affair with a female subordinate in an office environment? What about you, if you're a male listener? Do you think you can get away with having an affair with a female colleague or subordinate or even a superior in an office environment? I don't think so. But of course, when you're a member of the British government, hypocrisy is something you wear with a badge of honour. So it's no surprise to me that someone quizzling like Matt Hancock would think he could totally get away with violating all the tenets of the Me Too movement, all the tenets of the lockdown restrictions and social distancing restrictions that he initiated on the British people. And, this is the arrogance of these kind of people. This is what the Conservative Party's become. This is what the British government is. And, I think it's just total blatant double standards. There was also the Neil Ferguson affair last year with the wife of someone he knew. I can't really remember what it was now. But Hancock at the time said he was speechless, over Neil Ferguson's behaviour, and that he should resign immediately. Is Hancock equally speechless over his own behaviour? Does Hancock think he should resign immediately? I highly doubt it. It's the double standards that we have. The other thing I want to mention on this is whether Hancock's behaviour is criminal in nature, whether he needs to be prosecuted. There was all these Me Too cases, a lot of them I covered on this channel. The most innocuous behaviours by men against colleagues or against women. And, they resulted in criminal complaints, criminal prosecutions. I wonder if Matt Hancock himself will face a criminal prosecution now, or whether he will not. And also, why is this not been brought to the public's attention sooner? Going back to Neil Ferguson, it was about 1 to 2 months after the date of his affair, or when it was spotted by the Daily Telegraph, that it was published. And then I noticed with Matt Hancock, this embrace caught on CCTV on government property was on in the early part of the month of May, which is about 6-8 weeks ago now. Why was this not revealed at the time? I mean, if this is a national health crisis that we're in, if we are in a situation where, people in government are violating their own rules, violating the feminist doctrine of the Me Too movement, why is this not brought to the public's attention, within 24 hours? Why do we have to wait 8 weeks? What's been going on with editors in that time? Is this being used for political purposes, or is this being used to inform British people of what they need to know? The final point, I think, should be obvious to just about everyone, is that these members of the government in positions of high seniority are not remotely afraid of the virus. I've made this point several times before. These people are afraid about you catching the virus, but they have no fear that they might catch the virus. That's why there's all these breakdowns in, government officials violating their own rules, which has been going on since the start of last year. These people are not afraid of the virus. So why should you be afraid of it? And of course, it's the point I've been making all along. This virus is not dangerous to the vast majority of people. The government know this, and they have a highly ulterior motive for keeping these restrictions in place. So I hope you like this video. I hope members, advocates of the Me Too movement will finally turn their attention on Hancock as opposed to remaining dead silent. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll talk to you soon.